All right, hi guys, this is Miss Bofice, and today we're going to be doing scientific notation word problems. So our I can statement for today, we have actually two of them. I can perform operations with numbers and expressed in scientific notation. This is what you guys were doing last Friday with your E, the giant E on the calculator. And then I can use scientific notation to determine how many times as large one number is in relation to another. So you're just going to be given like two different scientific notations. You have to figure out how many times greater. So that is 8EE3 and 8EE4. Go ahead and make sure you have your calculator with you because, again, you're just taking what you did on Friday and putting it in word problem form. So here we go. We have a TV show that had 3.5 times 10 to the 6 viewers on the first episode and 8.5 times 10 to 6 viewers to their second episode. How many viewers did they have overall? So if you have something, how many in total, how many overall, that is when you use addition. So we're just going to add these two numbers up together. So we have 3.5 times 10 to the 6 plus 8.5 times 10 to the 6. And again, we're going to use our calculator. We're going to make sure we're in Sci mode by going second DRG and scrolling over to Sci. And we're going to be using that E button again, the EE button that is right above the 7. So to type this in, we would do 3.5 second, and then x to the negative 1, it says EE. We hit that, and it makes a giant E. And then our exponent is 6. And since we said overall, or in total, that means add. So we put plus 8.5 second, the EE button, and then 6 again. And then we get a total of 1.2 times 10 to the 7th. We would be done, except they ask us to express it in both scientific notation and standard form. So to express this in standard form, all I do is I'm going to write the decimal, 1.2. And then since it is 7, I'm going to move it 7 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I fill everything else in with zeros. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros, and then a 1 and a 2. So 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma, 2, 1. So both of these are our answer for example 1. Example 2. We have a rectangular section of land for a farmer that has a length of 5 times 10 to the 4 meters and a width of 6 times 10 to the 3rd meters. What is the area? So we know that area of a square is length times width. And it told us that the length is 5 times 10 to the 4th. So 5 times 10 to the 4th times the width of 6 times 10 to the 3rd meters. So again, we're just going to put this into our calculator by doing 5 second, hitting the EE button so that we get a capital E. Our exponent is 4. Since it's length times width, we're going to hit the times button and then do 6 times 10 to the 3rd. So 6 second, EE, and then a 3. And then when we press enter, we get our answer to be 3 times 10 to the 8th. And then just square meters. Always have your unit. It didn't tell us specifically to put it in standard form or scientific notation, so we're just going to leave it in scientific notation. So we've done something with addition, we've done something with multiplication, and then the next two common problem 1 examples are the ones that you're actually going to see the most, and it's going to be with division. So we have the half-life of uranium-238 is 4.5 times 10 to the 9th years. The half-life of uranium-234 is 2.5 times 10 to the 5th years. How many times greater? So anytime you see these words, how many times greater, you automatically should be thinking of division. Is the half-life of 238 of 234? So with division, it's always is over of. So we say, it says, is the half-life of uranium-238, so is 238 than that of uranium-234, so 234. So is goes on tops, and then the of goes on the bottom. And then I'm just going to fill it in with the scientific notation. So uranium-238, we said it was 4.5 times 10 to the 9th. And then the uranium-234 is 2.5 times 10 to the 5th. And then we're just going to divide, as usual, in our calculator. 4.5 second EE to get that giant capital E to the 9th power, divided by 2.5 second EE to the 5th power. And then when I hit enter, I get 1.8 times 10 to the 4th. And again, they didn't say to put it in standard form or scientific notation. So if they wanted it in scientific notation, you would just leave it like this. But if they said, hey, we want it in both, you would just come over here and you can do your loop-de-loops by going 1, 2, 3, 4, filling in the empty spots with zeros. So if they wanted it in standard form, it would just be 18,000. Also, there's a trick. If you just go on your calculator and you have something in scientific mode already, or in scientific notation, you just go second DRG and go back to flow, and it puts it in standard form for you. But you can't always rely on that because sometimes the number is too big. So make sure you're back in sci mode and not flow. And we're going to do the last problem. And we're actually going to change it so that instead of 3 times 10 to the 8th, we're going to change this to a 4. 4 times 10 to the 8th. So we have the population of the US is 4 times 10 to the 8th, and the population of the world is 7 times 10 to the 9th. How many times larger? So again, we saw those words, how many times larger? So that should trigger the response of division, which division is usually the most common type of problem that you're going to do with word problems. Is the population of the world then the US? So remember, it's is over of. So it says, is the world than the US? So of the US. So we're going to do world over US. And we said that the world is 7 times 10 to the 9th, and that the US is 4 times 10 to the 8th. So a lot of the times people just want to put whatever comes first in the word problem on top. You have to read it. You have to read to see what's the is, what's the of. So in this case, the US population came first and the world came second. But really, the world needs to be on top and the US needs to be on the bottom. So that's our setup. We just put it into our calculator by doing 7 second, hit the EE button, and our exponent is 9, divided by 4 second, hit the EE button, and hit 8. And when you do that, you get 1.75 times 10 to the 1st power. And if they wanted it in scientific notation, you would just box your answer and be done. However, if they want it in standard form, I'm just going to hit second DRG and go back to flow. And it already changes it for me, and it's 17.5. So you would just say 17.5 times larger, depending on if they want it in scientific notation, standard form, or maybe they want both. So common things, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a division problem because you're going to see the words how many times larger or how many times greater. Remember, when it's division, you do is on top and then the of on the bottom. So they might try to trick you just like they did in this one with the US coming first, but the US had to be on the bottom. If they say the words total or combined, that means you're going to add. And then anything with area or something and they want to do, you can do multiplication. So that is word problems with scientific notation. You're just taking what we did on Friday and putting it in word problem form. That's it. Have a good day, guys.